In this video, I'll make this simple 3D drawing, and this drawing is quite simple, which can be made in two different parts. So let's get started with the front view of this drawing. So I'll start with the polyline tool and select the polyline from draw panel. Click at any point in the drawing area and make a line with length equal to 180 units and press enter. Now move it in the upward direction and enter a length of 58 units. Press enter. Move it towards left and enter a length of 28 units. Press enter. Move it downwards, enter a length of 25. Press enter, and once again move it towards left and enter a length of 120 units and press enter again. Now move it upwards and enter a length of 45 units and press enter. Now press enter again to exit this command, and once again press enter to start the polyline tool. Now we'll start from this point. Click at this point and now enter a length of 50 units to make a line in the upward direction and press enter. Now move it towards right and enter a length of 4 units and press enter, and press enter again to exit this command. Now we need to make an arc joining these two endpoints. For that, I'll go to this arc flyout and select start and radius. Now select this as the starting point and this one as the end point, and enter a radius of 28 units and press enter. And here we have this arc. Now we can convert this geometry into 3D. So in order to convert this one, go to this home icon, select the press pull tool and click inside this geometry. Now enter a height of 70 units and press enter. Now press enter again to exit the press pull tool and change the visual style from this drop down menu. And I'll change it to shaded here, and let's orbit this drawing as well, just to see it more clearly. So now we'll move on to the next portion. For that, I'll go to this right view from the view cube, and let's rotate this drawing a little bit and make a new geometry. But before making the geometry, we need to rotate the UCS as well. For that, go to the coordinates panel and click on this flyout and select view. So this one is very important step. You need to ensure that you change the view before making any geometry. And now go to the polyline tool once again. Now click at a point anywhere in the drawing area and make a line with length 16 units. Now move it in upward direction and make it with length 19 units. And now move it towards left and make it with length of 3 units. Press enter. Move it in upward direction and make a line with length 22 units. Press enter, and now move it in the left direction once again. And this time enter a length of 13 units and press enter again to exit this. Now we'll make a mirror image of this geometry. So select it, go to the modify panel and select mirror tool. Now click at these two endpoints and press enter. Here we have the complete geometry. Now we need to join it as well. So select it, type J on command line and press enter. And here we have the completely single unit for this drawing. So let's press escape key, and now we'll move this geometry on this 3D object. So for that, I'll orbit this drawing and go to this move tool, select this object, press enter, click at this point and move it at this midpoint. Now you can orbit the drawing to see it more clearly here. And now we'll select the press pull tool for subtracting the 3D. So select the press pull tool and click inside this geometry and move it in this direction. So this will subtract the 3D geometry, and here we have the subtracted portion. Now we can create the last part of the geometry, and for creating that we need to make a small reference line. We can make that reference line on any geometry, but we need to make it on this face. In order to make it on this face, select this dynamic UCS option and make it active. If you're not able to see this dynamic UCS option, then go to this customization menu and select this dynamic UCS. Now move back again to the drawing area and select this line tool. And now move your cursor to the plane on which you want to make your geometry, and you'll notice that the plane will become active. Now move your cursor to the point where you want to make your line and click here and specify the upward direction and enter a length of 2 units and press enter again. So we have a very small line here, and that is what we need for now. So I'll now go back to the dynamic UCS option and I'll turn it off. Now go to the circle tool and click at this endpoint, the endpoint of small line which we created, and make a circle with radius of 16 units. So type 16 and press enter. Now press enter again to repeat the circle tool, and once again go to this endpoint and this time make a circle with radius 8 units. And here we have these two concentric circles. So now we'll extrude the bigger circle. For that I'll go to this extrude tool, select the circle here, enter, and enter a length here. So you can enter the length on the command line, or you can click on any point for reference as well. So I'll click on this endpoint as a reference, and here we have this cylinder. Now we need to remove this circular portion from the entire geometry, but before removing the portion we need to join it as a single unit. So for joining the 3D objects, go to this union tool on the solid editing panel and select the complete geometry and press enter. So here we have the complete geometry as a single unit. Now once again go to this press pull tool and click inside the circle and make this geometry. So let's click at this point and press enter, and here we have it, the complete 3D geometry as per our requirement. And here also we can clean these 2D geometries by moving the object. So I'll select move tool, select the object, press enter, move it to some other place, and remove all the 2D lines and other geometries from the drawing area. And here we have a completely clean drawing as per our own requirement. In this video, I'll make this simple 3D practice drawing, and we can make this drawing in two different parts. In the first part, we'll make the top view, and in the second part, we'll make the component which can be used on 3 different places. So let's start with the top view. So I'll go to the line tool and click at any point in the drawing area and make a line with length equal to 68 units. So make a completely vertical line with length 68 units and press enter. Now let's press enter again to repeat the command and click at the center point or the midpoint of the line and move it towards right and make it with length 36 units and press enter again. Press enter again to repeat the command and click at the same point, and this time and make it with length 63 units and press enter again. Now repeat the line tool, click at this endpoint and move it upwards and make it with length 24 units, press enter, move it towards right and join it with this line. Now once again press enter to repeat the line tool and click at this point and enter a length of 18 units and press enter, and now join it with this line here. So now we'll start with the circle tool. So go to the circle tool and select the center radius and click at this endpoint and make a circle with radius 18 units. Now press enter again and select the same center point, and this time make another circle with radius 8 units and press enter. Now we need to add fillet to this geometry, and in order to add the fillets, I'll select this fillet tool here. So select fillet and go to radius, enter a radius of 9 units and press enter. Now click at this line and on this circle, and here we have the fillet. Now press enter to repeat the command, and we still have the radius of 9 units. So select the circle and select this line, and we have the fillets in our geometry. Now we can remove the extra portion from the drawing. So first we need to remove this vertical line. Now select the trim tool, press enter and click on this part of the circle and press enter again. So now we can make the mirror image of this entire portion. So select this complete part, select this modify panel, expand it and select the mirror tool. Now click at this point and then click at this point and press enter. And now select both of these lines and remove them. So our top view is prepared, and now we can convert it into a 3D. For converting it into 3D, select this home icon and select the press pull tool. Now click inside this area and enter a height of 9 units and press enter. Press enter again to exit the command and change the visual style to shaded. Now go to the front view from this view cube and change the coordinates to view. don't forget to change the coordinates, otherwise you won't be able to make the drawing on this front plane. Now we'll make the second part of the geometry, and for that I'll select this polyline tool. Now click at a point and move your cursor in the upward direction and enter a length of 21 units and press enter. Now move it towards right side and enter a length of 36 units and press enter again. Now move it in downward direction and again enter a length of 21 units and then join it with the starting point and press enter. Now go to the circle tool, click at this center point or the midpoint and click at this point. Now go to circle tool again, click at this point and make a circle with radius 8 units. Now we need to remove some extra portion from the geometry, and for that I'll select this trim tool. So select trim, press enter and click on this circle, and we are not able to trim it. So if you're not able to trim the geometry, you can always select the other option, which is the break tool. So let's press escape to exit the trim tool and then go to this modify panel and select the break tool. Now select the circle and click on this first point option. Now click at this point as the first point and then click at this point as the second one, and here we have the geometry. Now we need to remove this line as well, and in order to remove it we need to select and then break it. So type X and press enter. Now select this line and erase it. And here we have it, the completely clean geometry. Now let's try to convert it into a 3D. For that I'll select the press pull tool, click inside the drawing and enter a height of 9 units and press enter. Now let's orbit this drawing to see the 3D here, and here we have it, the 3D geometry. Now we can move this 3D geometry to the required places, and we'll start with the move tool. So select the move tool and select this geometry, press enter, and now click at this point, this end point, and move it to this end point here. You can remove this 2D geometry, it's no longer required. And here we have it. Now we need to make copies of this 3D solid. For that I'll select this copy tool, select this 3D solid and press enter. Now carefully select this endpoint, this one, and move it to this point and press enter again. Now we need to move this geometry on this side as well, and we also need to rotate it to an angle of 90 degrees. For that I'll select the geometry and select this copy tool and click on this endpoint and move it to this endpoint here and press enter. Now we only need to rotate this one. So for rotating, go to this move gizmo, select this rotate gizmo tool and click on this geometry. Now here we have this blue axis, so we need to first move the base point. So select this base point and move it to this point. Now select the blue axis and rotate it in this direction. So make sure that you are selecting this completely horizontal line, or you can enter the angle as well. So let's click here and let's press escape key and let's orbit the geometry to see it. And here we have the complete 3D geometry as per our requirement. So you can also join all the 3 different solids to this base solid to make it a single unit. For that I'll go to this solid editing panel, select the union tool, select the entire geometry and press enter. And here we have it, complete single unit.